I haven't really been working on creating those clips like physically. I have been working on thinking of them, like designing the idea of how they would work, but not as on a practical sense.
I would love to hear about it for a couple minutes if you wouldn't mind sharing what your concept would be for using a phone to beat a full studio video recording in a
Okay.
15-second clip and like why you think it would work.
So I would have to structure it first. It has to start with a 2 to 3 second hook. That hook should be everything, and it would be like 90% of my efforts would go into that hook of thinking, how can I catch the viewer's eye and mind? And that would be like the main event for me as a start in that whole structure. Going through that 2 or 3 seconds, we move on to, let's say, 5 to 7 seconds, where you get the body, for example, where I would have to explain to you why am I interesting? What do I want from you? Or just why did you stop? What was the reason for it? And that obviously would have to be entertaining and eye-catching, and would probably have a lot of cutscenes and a lot of, like, let's call it blinks. And the rest, which is basically the outro, would have to be a CTA, some sort of a call to action that could be beneficial for, of course, for me and for the viewer. And it would have to probably end on a high note that would be able to complete the loop. So if you're watching it on a loop, it will be connected, which is more of a visual effect, but our brains really appreciate those like complete cycle in almost an unconscious way. Something that I don't know if you had this situation before, but even if you see any video, even on Instagram, TikTok, you name it, and you see that it might loop, like you might see the connection between the start and the ending, and if you watch it and just rewatch it again, you might discover if the creator connected it or not. And the only reason we do it is just that our brains work. It's almost like ADHD in a way. We just need that completion. And once you get it, it's some sort of a dopamine effect that you get, like a boost of it. So it's always good to have it. It's like a nice to have. It's not a must.
It's very intelligent because I do find it happens sometimes. I put my phone is on shorts and then it starts going on a loop for like 10 15 minutes. I'm listening to it in the background because I got busy with something, and for some odd reason it doesn't get boring. Like when I listen to music, sometimes if it's the third time, if it's the second time I heard the song twice, I'm done, unless it's like Golden Brown, like deluxe version on repeat. But like besides that, like I can't really take it. The short though, if it like says something meaningful and it does it like even 100 times, it actually somehow just delves deeper in and makes a more impactful message, and it's still meditating on it. The same message is just coming back again. What do you think that has to say about the nature of the human psyche as it relates?
That's a good question. It's just, I think it just shows how simple we are sometimes, even though we all think we're so complicated and so like full of thoughts and ideas and so many, I'm not trying to underestimate anyone or myself, of course. We all have those deep thoughts and conversations with ourselves. But at the end of the day, we are all feeling the same thing. We're all in the need for the same closures, for those dopamine boosts. That's why it works. That's just the way it is. For example, I'm sure that TikTok won't work for cows. I don't think they have that need for closure and for that dopamine boost, but humans do. And it's that simple. Once you get that click and you know how to create that click for other people, whether it's music, visual effect, you name it. Once you do, you're good.
Well, generative AI tools can create like instant beats. You can make captions, you can add vocals, but fans can often smell that there's something fake about it, and that usually happens pretty soon on in the process of them listening. Where do you draw the line between AI assistance and artistic integrity, and especially when it comes to drawing emotions out of your audience? Do you find that AI in the specific use case of content creation, the way you do it, is stifling or a stumbling block, or is it something that has to be applied in a specific way?
I think it's definitely just something that at this point of time needs to be applied in a specific way. I do believe that we'll get to a point where people would look for AI music. That would be a genre. That would be something that I would like to listen. For example, I want to listen to blues right now, and you want to listen to jazz, and this guy want to listen to AI music. And it will be like this, and it will be AI jazz or AI blues, because it does have a different tone, or obviously we can still identify and recognize the differences. So I do feel that people would be attracted into it in some sort of a way. I don't think that it would replace music in a way. It would definitely be a great tool as it is right now for writing, for any sort of content, really. And that's something that, in my opinion, everyone should use. As long as you have a tool and you know how to use a tool, and not as like a not like a it shouldn't be a liability, if that makes sense. It should stay as a tool, at least for now. And I'm saying at least for now because obviously the updates and the pace that things are going is unbelievable. Like, you get updates on a daily basis and you cannot keep up. You just cannot. And honestly, I mean, if you can't beat them, join them in a way. There's no way to fight it anymore. You just need to know how to use it, but for your own good, and to keep your authenticity in it. That's one of the main reasons why we still recognize AI music, even if it's just instrumental or stuff that it's not too easy to recognize, because it still lacks emotion. It still lacks the authenticity that a human being can put into a song or into a text as well. Or even though a text might be a bit harder, but still, we can still feel it. I can attest for myself. I've had posts on LinkedIn where, not myself, that I read that other people posts, where I can clearly see where AI took this part, but you can, and I'm saying it in a good sense, you can see and you can read it and you can feel where is the AI and where is that person, because the authenticity, it's like, it's different. It clicks. I can relate to it. It resonates differently. And that's something that I hope humanity should keep, at least for now.
Have you used AI in a session to help create lyrics or prompts for lyrics, and then had a vocalist tweak them to keep it human?
Definitely, all the time. That's what you call a tool. I've never asked for AI to give me a full-on lyric and like, let's go with it and like that.